Welcome to the Karuna Trees YouTube channel. My name is Veda Spidle, and today I am live streaming from the onebreathconnected.com filming studio and super excited to be here. Today's class will be focused on evening back bend, so we'll be staying close to the ground. This is a gentle yoga and sound healing class. So just make sure that you have your mat. If you don't have a mat, just a sturdy but supportive, comfortable surface beneath you. I also recommend that you have 2 blocks, 2 blankets. If you don't have yoga blankets, you can use bath towels instead. And then any other props that you think you might need for your practice. So during the sound healing, it might be nice to have an eye pillow, your extra favorite blanket to cover up in, a bolster, extra sofa pillows. So go ahead and collect all those items and then come into a comfortable seat. If you would like to donate for this class or to donate for any future classes, you can donate to paypal.me, so paypal.me/the Karuna Tree. And the spelling for the Karuna Tree is the same channel that you're on. So paypal.me/the Karuna Tree. And if you're not able to donate, that's okay. Please continue to practice, together. And there's all different kinds of ways that we support each other. And I'm just really happy to be here with all of you. So once you're seated comfortably, go ahead and close the eyes or soften the gaze. And we take the first few minutes to switch gears, to allow ourselves to bring our attention to our practice, to ourselves, to our breath. Allow yourself to slow down and become aware of the space that you're in, aware of your surroundings. If there are any distractions that are happening right now or any that show up during the practice, use that as an opportunity to refocus on your practice, to refocus on your breath. Bring your attention now to your body. Feel yourself in your body. The sitting bones deeply rooted. From that stable foundation, the spine elongated, and the top of the head reaching upwards. And as you hold this posture, soften the skin, relax the muscles around the eyes, relax the shoulders and abdomen, and let your attention now rest on the breath. Breathing in and out of the nose if that's available to you. Every inhale, the belly expands, the navel drops forward. And every exhale, the navel gently pulls back toward the spine. If that's difficult for you to keep your attention on or difficult for you to feel, you can place one hand at the lower abdomen below the navel. The inhale, belly gently expands. The exhale, navel gently draws in. And if it's available to you to breathe deeper, allow the inhale to expand the belly. It builds up into the ribs and maybe the chest. And as you exhale, relax the chest, ribs, and belly. If you wish, you can take your other hand and place it directly on heart center, the center of the chest, feeling the breath rise and build from the bottom hand to the top hand. And feel the breath release from the top down. Now you can stay like this. You can keep the hands on the lap, or you can bring the hands together to Anjali Mudra. Gentle pressure between the palms. And I invite you to join me in 3 rounds of Om. You can use your voice, you can hum, or you can just listen. Let's first inhale together. Let it go. And inhale. Om. The eyes can remain closed. Release the hands to the thighs or knees, palms down. Take a full, easeful breath here. Torso circles, hinge forward, and begin counterclockwise torso circles using the top of the head as a marker. We're drawing circles around the hips. The size of the circles are up to you and your body. Using this movement as a way to support flexibility of the spine. Also helps to move energy. And then reverse direction. When that feels complete for you, return to neutral spine, top of the head over the pelvic floor. And if you're sitting cross-legged, change the cross of the legs. And then let the hands, the arms be relaxed and loose. You can have the hands on the lap or the arms on either side. And a few shoulder rolls. Inhale, shoulders up towards the ears. Exhale, back and down. A few more. And then reverse direction. Shoulder blades go up the back. Exhale them forward and down. And we reverse once to reset. Inhale up, exhale back and down. And if you're not already there, let the arms be loose by your sides. 2 shoulder shrugs. Inhale, squeeze the shoulders up towards the ears. Hold here. Hold the breath if that feels safe and comfortable for you. And when prompted by your body, release the breath, drop the shoulders. One more. Then hands to the thighs or knees, palms down, hinge forward, counterclockwise torso circles. And reverse direction. The inhale is usually at the front end of the circle. The exhale is at the back end of the circle. And then return to neutral spine. Take a full breath here. And transition to table onto hands and knees. If you're using blocks in your practice, I recommend having the blocks preset at the front 2 corners of your mat on the floor. And then we will be doing some work here that will involve some pressure on the knees. So if you need to support yourself here, open up your blanket or your bath towel to place it underneath the center of your practice space. And then shoulders are over the wrists, hips are over the knees, tops of the feet to the floor. Lengthen the spine and try to keep the spine right now parallel to the floor, relatively parallel to the floor, and take 2 full breaths. Feel yourself breathing, feel the body in this pose. When you're ready, cat-cows moving from the tailbone. Inhale, tailbone scoops up, belly drops, heart gaze lifts. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, round the spine, chin towards chest. Few more. Inhale, tailbone up, belly drops, heart gaze lifts. Exhale, round the spine. Keep going, moving at a pace that feels comfortable for you and having the breath and movement so paired that you don't know which one comes first. Now the next time that you come into cow, belly down, heart gaze lift, stay here. Inhale. Stay here, exhale. Stay here, inhale. Exhale, cat back, round the spine. Stay here, inhale. Stay here, exhale. And then inhale into neutral spine table. Let the breath go. And widen the hands for your hip release. Bring the legs in hip width or closer. Tops of the feet to the floor. Lengthen the spine. Inhale here at center. Exhale, hips drop towards the right, but we're not trying to touch the floor. Inhale, come back up through center, and then over to the other side with your exhale. Hands and knees remain connected to the floor. Elbows can bend as needed. About 2 more to each direction. When that feels complete for you, return to neutral spine center. And then from here, child's pose. So option 1, the legs are touching at midline, sit back to the heels, arms by your sides, palms up, and then forehead to the floor or to a block. Option 2, big toes touch, knees wide, sit back to the heels, forehead to the floor or a block. Hands can be out in front of you or by your sides with the palms up. Option 3, if that's too much pressure on your knees, is taking puppy from table. You bow the upper body forward, keeping the hips over the knees, and then forehead down. So those are your 3 options. At any point you can take them when I say child's pose, or you can just remain in table. Few more breaths. Relax the spine. Another breath. With your inhale, return to table. Let the breath go. Now float your right knee out to the side, lifting it up, and then draw circles with the lifted knee. Size of the circles up to you and your body. Make sure to honor that. Reverse the direction of the knee circles. And then level the hips, extend the right leg straight behind you, toes are tucked under and on the floor. Level the hips, relax the heart, try to keep the spine relatively straight here. Inhale. Exhale, press the mat away from you, stretch into the extended leg. Inhale, shoulders over wrists. Exhale, press the mat away. One more. Shoulders return over the wrists, and now we switch sides. From table, lift the left knee out to the side, and then draw circles with the lifted knee. And it's okay if one side feels different than the other, if one side is drawing smaller or bigger circles. Reverse direction. Just remember to be kind to yourself, meet yourself where you're at this moment. And then extend the legs straight behind you, toes are tucked under on the floor, level the hips, inhale here. Exhale, press the mat away, stretch into the extended leg. Keep the hips level to the floor, keep them in line. Inhale, shoulders over wrists. Exhale, push the mat away. Once more. And then table. Neutral spine. Take a make your way into a high kneel. Walk the hands in towards the knees and then lift the upper body up. What we're looking for here is the top of the head being over the pelvic floor, those shoulders over ribs, over hips. Your toes can be tucked under or not, just depends on which one feels more stable for your body. And then your knees, your thigh bones are relatively parallel to each other, so we're looking for those lines all the way down. Release the arms by your sides. If this is enough for you, stay here. Keep the breath moving. If you're able to do more today, inhale, lift the arms up, lift the gaze, the heart. Exhale, hinge at the hips, bow forward, sweep the arms by your sides, palms facing down, forehead to the floor or to a block. Inhale, come up, reach the arms up, lift the heart, the gaze. Exhale, sweep the arms and bow. About 3 more. Remember, you don't have to move. You can stay in any of the positions with either being up on your high kneel or the arms lifted, as long as you're able to continue breathing with ease. Next time that you come up, stay there, reaching up through the fingertips, and then exhale, the hands come down through midline by your sides and then to the low back for a clasp. Interlace the fingers. 2 options here, thumb pads press or the palms are touching. It's up to you and your shoulders. Drop the tailbone, lengthen the spine. Straighten the arms to the best of your ability. Lift the heart, turn this into a gentle back bend, maybe reaching the clasp in the direction of the heels. Keep the breath moving. Neck is holding the head. We're not just dropping the head back. One more breath wherever you are. Bring yourself back up to neutral spine. Hinge at the hips. Come forward to table and take a breath. Feel the body here. And then grab your blocks if you're using them. Check that your wrists land relatively underneath the shoulders. If they need to go out a bit wider, that's fine. Building lunge, tuck the toes under and step the right leg through between the hands. If this is enough for your body, please stay here. If you wish to go further, float the back knee off the floor and extend through the rear heel. Square the hips and extend out through the crown of the head. You can stay here, or with your inhale, lengthen the spine a little bit more. Exhale, straighten the front leg and maybe fold. Inhale, front knee bends, lengthen the spine. Exhale, straighten and fold. So a few more rounds of breath, whether you're moving or staying still. Feel yourself breathing. We have about one more breath. Front knee bends, we build, low lunge, Anjaneyasana. Back knee touches down, rested above the kneecap if that's available to you. If you need to keep the front knee over the ankle, that's fine. If you're able to, you can allow the front knee to go further forward, keeping it pointing forward. The front heel needs to stay glued to the floor. Blocks and come up on a higher setting. Lengthen the spine, elevate the heart. And as the hips dip down, simultaneously pull up on the pelvic floor, lift the heart even more. If it's available to you, hands go to the low back for a clasp. Lift the heart as you turn this into more of a back bend. Clasp can reach towards the rear heel. Keep breathing. So as you're reaching the clasp behind you, make sure it still stays centered, but you're reaching in the direction towards the heel. One more breath. Slowly come out of this. Glide the hips back for half splits. Blocks can walk with you. Left hip is over the left knee, right leg out straight, and then toes point up or they pull back towards their knee. Pull your right hip back, left hip forward. Do your best to square the hips, lengthen the spine. This might be enough for you, right? I'm laughing because I'm already feeling in the hamstrings. If you want to go further and you can keep the elongation through the spine, then maybe bow. And make sure that the hands are at the same height, whichever height you're choosing. Shoulder blades stay on the back. About 2 more breaths. And slowly re-bend the front knee. Lunge, back knee floats off the ground, front knee is over its ankle. Lunge, twist, inhale, right hand to the hip as you twist open to the right or right arm to the sky. Gaze can follow. Extend out through the rear heel and out through the crown of the head and the top fingertips. Another breath. And slowly release the hand down, return to lunge. Back knee touches down to the floor. Return to table, take a breath. You can keep the blocks under the hands. Now we work with the other side. Step the left leg through, lunge. Check that your hands are in alignment with the front foot, and the back knee can float off the ground if that's available. If you moved on the other side, try to see if you can do the same here, but don't force it. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, straighten the front leg and maybe fold. Few more breaths. One more breath. Front knee bends. Build your low lunge. Take it slowly, aware of every movement along the way. And then take the same expression on this side that you took on the other if you can. And if you did a clasp at the low back, maybe have the other pointer finger lead the way now. So that just means that you're changing the way that the clasp starts, right? Which pointer finger starts the clasp. Might feel a little bit odd. Actively lift the heart. Keep the breath moving. Another breath. Slowly, the hands return to the blocks or to the floor. Glide the hips back. Move into your half splits. Check in with your alignment. Make sure the spine is elongated. And come right up against the edge where you can still breathe. The jaw relaxed, taking care to not over effort. Another breath. Slowly rebend the front knee. Lunge, float the back knee off the floor, extend out through the rear heel, out through the crown of the head. Lunge, twist, left hand to the hip as you twist open. Maybe if the shoulders stack, the left arm to the sky. Another breath. Slowly release. Lunge, lower the back knee down, and then make your way to table. Full breath here, but do move the blocks this time. Good, and then from here, your choice for child's pose. Check in with the quality of your breath. Relax the muscles of the face. Relax the muscles along the spine. Another moment here. And make your way up to table, shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. We're working on C, curving the spine. Some people might know this as the cat looking at its tail. Lengthen the spine, inhale at center. And then exhale, look over the right shoulder and press the right shoulder and right hip towards each other. Inhale, come back to center. And now exhale to the other side. Left shoulder and left hip press towards one another. Once more to each side. So if I was looking at you from the top, it would look like a C curve on the back. You're just curving the spine side to side. And then return to neutral spine. Take a full breath here. And from here, we make our way down onto our abdomens. If you had support under the knees, I recommend moving that off to the side. If you have any discomfort with the knees, you might want to put a folded blanket at the back end of your practice space and then drape your ankles over that blanket. That will take some pressure off the knees and lower down onto your abdomen in a way that's comfortable for you. And then you can stack your hands or your forearms, rest your forehead on them. Rock the hips side to side. And then we create space in the low back. Lift the right leg off the floor. Extend out through the big toe as if I'm pulling on the leg. Want to feel a gentle stretch and opening in the low back. And then release the leg down. Do the same on the other side. Lift the left. Lengthen and lower. And relax the body here and just breathe. If this is enough for you, stay as you are. Otherwise, we build baby cobra. Bring the legs in hip width or closer. Engage the muscles of the legs. Bring the forehead to the floor and place your hands on the floor in line with the chest, elbows point back. Inhale to lift the gaze, lift the heart, reach the heart forward. Use the hands, the leverage of the hands on the mat to pull the heart forward even more. So you're pulling on the mat and pressing the heart forward. Keep the navel on the floor. Even the base of the ribs you might feel on the ground. Baby cobra. Not overexerting ourselves here. Keep the leg muscles engaged. And look side to side, getting into the neck. That feels complete. Return to center. Again, creating a pillow for your forehead. Or you can rest on one ear, arms by your sides with the palms up. Your choice. And take a sigh breath. If once was enough for you, stay where you are. Otherwise, bring your forehead to center on the floor. Hands to the low back for a clasp. Maybe the pointer finger that leads the way is the one that doesn't typically lead the way, so it might feel a little bit odd. Engage the legs. And as you inhale, lift the gaze, the heart, and reach the clasp towards the heels. Maybe also lift the legs. Keep the breath moving. Relax the jaw, keep breathing, 2 more breaths. See if you can lift the legs a little higher. And with your exhale, slowly release. Rest on your left ear or head to center. Completely relax the body and breathe. Another moment here. And forehead returns to center. Place the hands to the floor relatively under shoulders. Elbows point back. Press yourself up and back to child's pose. In this option, you can keep the blanket underneath the ankles and then sit back to the heels. If you need more space for the knee joint, you can place a blanket or cushion between your hips and heels. We'll be here for a little bit. And always give yourself permission to reset if you need to. Relax even more along the spine. Few more moments here. When that feels complete for you, press yourself up to table. Let the breath go. Readjust as needed. And this is a good time to put support under the knees again if you need to. And a few rounds of cat-cows, moving from the tailbone. And return the spine to neutral. And come onto your seat. So if you have that support under the knees, you can still keep it there and sit on it. Extend the legs out in front of you. And then the toes pointing up, your hands can go in line with the hips, fingertips point forward, or the hands behind you, maybe tenting the hands, the palms elevated. Lengthen the spine, lift the heart, and begin to turn this into a gentle back bend. If it's available to you, the hands can touch down to the floor. If it's available to you, you can also rotate the hands so the fingertips point towards the feet. Make sure you do only what feels right for you. Lift the heart even more. Maybe the gaze is upwards without dropping the head back, so we're still using the neck to hold the head. We don't just want to completely go passive here in the neck. Another breath. And then draw the chin in towards the throat, walk the hands in towards the hips, sit up tall. This is Dandasana. Hands can be in line with the hips, fingertips point forward, take a breath. If your body's asking for this, you can always bow forward, take a bend in the knees, and bow forward. Maybe the hands go underneath the knees, giving yourself a hug. Do that again. When you're ready, inhale to come up. Place the hands behind you in a way that feels good for you. Lift the heart. If this is where you stay, then that's okay. Keep breathing. If you want to go further for this next variation, the hands need to be on the floor, fingertips point forward, and then you can lift the hips and point the toes. Lift the heart. Another breath. Slowly the hips touch down. And then we all meet in Dandasana, or again, taking a bow forward. And then sit upright. We make our way towards gentle camel, Ustrasana. So if what we just did is what feels right for you and you want to avoid any more pressure on the knees, just go through the first option or the second option of what we just did. If you want to try the gentle variation of camel pose, come onto your heels. The knees are bent, you're sitting on your heels, tops of the feet to the floor. It might also feel nice to have your ankles draped over the back edge fold of your blanket or your support. And then the hands again go behind you. If it's available, palms touch down. Further yet, you can rotate the hands, fingertips point forward towards the knees. Lift the heart. Keep the breath moving. One more moment here. And chin goes in towards the throat, walk the hands in, and then bow forward. For those of you on your heels, you might take a child's pose here or a cat pose. And sit upright. And next variation. So remember, any of those first three are available to you. Otherwise, we go a bit further, sitting on the heels, hands to the floor if that's doable. If you want to go further in this variation, fingertips point forward, lift the heart, and then lift the hips. Keep breathing. Hips touch down, chin in towards the throat as you make your way up, taking cat pose or bowing forward depending on the variation that you're doing. Check in with the quality of your breath. Now, if that was enough back bending for you, you can come into child's pose, or you can come onto your back and hug the knees into the chest. Otherwise, we do one more variation. Bring yourself into a high kneel. Knees are under hips. Top of the head over the pelvic floor, and place your hands at the low back, the fingertips pointing down. You can also do the variation where the hands are in the clasp and the heart elevates, and this might be where you stop. Now, if you have your hands at the low back, elbows point back behind you. Drop the tailbone, lift the heart, press the hips gently forward. Imagine that your hands are in jean pockets here. lift the heart as you take this back bend. Keep the breath moving. Give yourself permission to reset if you need to. There should be no crunching here in the low back. Keep the tailbone dropped, heart lifted, hips gently pressed forward as if your thighs and your hip points were touching the wall. Maybe if you have this in your practice, the hands can go to the heels. You do not need to do this. It's just an option. Another breath wherever you are. Chin comes in towards the throat, and then take child's pose. If you're on your back, you can stay there. Knees are drawn into the chest. In a few moments here, allow the spine to relax. Feel the flood of sensation through the body. A few more breaths. For those of you that are not on your back already, bring yourself up through table. And move any props that you were using off to the side. If you want to, you can open up your blanket for the full length of your practice space for comfort. And then find your way onto your back. Knees are drawn into the chest, rock side to side. And notice that the more that you draw the knees in towards the chest, the more you'll feel the low back massaged against the floor. Come back to center, draw knee circles, guiding the knees opposite of each other, drawing the knee circles around their hips, and then reverse direction. The knees draw in towards the chest. Maybe float the forehead up towards the knees. And full body stretch. Interlace the fingers, roll the palms open away from the top of the head, point the toes, keep breathing, maybe a sigh or a yawn. And then relax the arms by your sides, either palms up in by your sides, letter T or cactus arms, and then bend the knees for windshield wipers. Feet go wider than the hips. They can go as wide as your mat if you have one. And then rock the legs side to side. The inhale through center, the exhale to the side. And the next time both soles of the feet touch down, bring the feet in closer towards each other. And again, rock the legs side to side. Now feeling this twist further up the spine. And then come back to center, simple twist. If you have a deeper one that you like to take in your practice, please set yourself up. Otherwise, follow along, walking the feet to the right a few inches, glide the hips to the right a few inches, and then drop the knees to the left. You can put support underneath the bottom leg. You can use your pillow, your blanket. Gaze can be up, or you can rotate your head so that the gaze is opposite of the knees. Few breaths wherever you are. Inhale, come back through center. Readjust to midline, let the breath go, and then make your way to the other side. Feet and hips to the left, knees can drop to the right, and gaze can be opposite of the knees. Just breathe. Bring yourself back to center, and then draw the knees into the chest. Squeeze them in. Float the forehead up towards the knees, and take a full body stretch. This time, press out through the heels, pull the toes back towards the knees. Another breath. Then release the arms by your sides. Now, if your body just wants to go into the śavāsana shape here, your resting pose, go ahead and make your way there. Otherwise, I invite you to try out a little bit more of a back bend, a heart opener for the first portion, and then I'll guide you into śavāsana. So if you'd like to do the heart opener, move yourself onto your side and then press yourself up. And then you'll grab a rolled or folded blanket. The higher it is, the more the stretch you will feel. So just be mindful of where you're at with your body across the chest and the upper back. You might also feel it in the low back. So I made a fold here about at the 1/3 line of my mat behind me. And then you can also put a blanket behind that with a kind of like a small roll here for the neck. This space between is really important because this is where the shoulder blades will fall and the arms go out to letter T and the palms face up. So facing forward on your mat, knees are bent to support yourself, going all the way down. The first support that you put down goes underneath the bottom tips of the shoulder blades. So if you need it higher, you can either roll onto your side, come up, reset, and then support under the head. Remember, the arms and the shoulders are between the two supports, and then you can extend the legs out. You can keep the knees bent. You can do a bound angle variation with the soles of the feet together, knees dropping open, maybe support underneath the outer edges of the legs. We'll be here for a few minutes. So make the adjustments that you need to. Now, if you're already in your śavāsana shape, when we transition out of this one, you can just stay in your resting pose. And now it's fine. Making our way to sound healing. Take a deep breath in. Let it go. Take another deep breath in. And sigh to let go. Allow yourself to just be. Slowly bring your attention back enough so that you can hear my voice. If you'd like to remain in the shape that you're in, or your resting pose for śavāsana, you can stay as you are. If you'd like to transition into your traditional śavāsana, you can lie on your back, move any props by pressing yourself up through your side. Lie on your back. You can put support underneath the knees, put your eye pillow on, cover up in a blanket, and make any other adjustments that you need. Take your time. Let the body relax. Release any physical effort. Awareness returns to the breath. And then to the body. Before moving, see if you can feel the whole body breathing. The eyes remain closed as you bring back gentle movements, wiggling toes and fingers, pointing and flexing the feet and opening and closing the hands as if you're squeezing sponges. Maybe rock the head side to side. And enjoy a full body stretch with a sigh or a yawn. And then either windshield wipers or draw the knees into the chest, remaining connected to the peace and calm. Keep your movements slow. When you feel ready, roll over onto your comfortable side in the fetal position. With the strength of your arms, press yourself up through your side and come into a comfortable seat. Try to still keep the eyes closed. Placing one hand at the lower abdomen, one hand on heart center. Feel the breath come and go. And then you can stay like this or bring the hands together at heart center, Anjali Mudra. And we'll close with a single sound of Om. Receive your breath. It's an absolute pleasure to be here with all of you. It's an honor. Thank you for sharing this time with me, energetically with each other, and most importantly, showing up for yourself. Namaste.